Smith police say a scooter rider is seriously hurt after a crash earlier this morning. The crash happened around 9 at the intersection of Musset Road and North 6th Street. Police say the person on the scooter has serious injuries but did not have any other details. We'll bring you updates as they become available on air and on our website at 5newsonline.com. Well, new charges have been filed against former Northwest Arkansas psychiatrist Brian Hyatt and 7 others. The new federal indictment alleges that Hyatt and several staff members conspired for years to unlawfully hold patients inside the behavioral health unit at Northwest Medical. Federal prosecutors say patients were kept through threats and the use of powerful medications. It was all done, they say, to bill Medicare, Medicaid, and private insurance programs at higher rates.
We just think this is a first step towards justice for the thousands of victims of this fraud scheme, frankly, and kidnapping scheme.
To Northwest Medical Center for a response and has not yet heard back. Hyatt and the other defendants will be in court on April 1st. Well, Bacola mother is speaking out after the man involved in her son's murder took a plea deal. Back in 2024, Tyreek Eastling was one of the men identified as a suspect in Barry Richardson's murder. He was arrested in Indiana after a year-long search. Now he's serving a 20-year prison sentence after pleading guilty to second-degree murder. The mother, Heidi Richardson, says that her focus is now on honoring her son's passion.
I mean, I miss him a lot, every day. And that's not going to change, but I just keep his memories, and I'm able to listen to his music and know that I'm going to see him again one day.
Heidi says that she is working to finish the album that her son was never able to release. Well, Baptist Health in Fort Smith has announced that it will shut down its labor and delivery services next month. Hospital leaders say that the decision was not made lightly and is meant to preserve the hospital's long-term sustainability. Baptist Health says the decision comes after a sharp drop in births from about 92 a month to around 20, along with rising costs for specialized care. We spoke with one doula who says that the state is already facing a maternal health crisis.
Families that need access to obstetrics and OB care, labor and delivery facilities are very far.
Is working with patients to avoid gaps in care. Mercy, the only other major hospital in the area, told us last week that it plans to host job fairs and expand recruiter office hours for those who are impacted. Well, gas prices have jumped over $4 a gallon as the fighting in Iran continues. The lockdown of the Strait of Hormuz is also having a big impact on jet fuel, causing many airlines, especially those in Europe, to reduce the number of flights. President Trump issued a social media post earlier today saying countries like the UK impacted by the jet fuel shortage should go and take the oil. Natalie Brandt has more details from the White House.
A month into fighting, Iran hasn't backed down from attacks on the Strait of Hormuz. This Kuwaiti oil tanker was hit Tuesday morning.
We remain focused on targeting their mine laying capability, their naval assets.
President Trump has expressed frustration that U.S. allies have not done more to help, posting on social media that countries like the United Kingdom that can't get jet fuel should go to the Strait and just take it.
I think other countries should pay attention when the president speaks. He's proven that when he speaks, he means something. And he's pointing out, you might want to start learning how to fight for yourself.
CBS News spoke with President Trump about his post, and he says the U.S. is not pulling assets from the Strait yet, but reiterated other countries need to do more. On Monday, the UK's Prime Minister said it's working with partners on a plan for the Strait, but is also calling for de-escalation.
We are looking to see what we can do in the Straits of Hormuz, but we're not going to get dragged into this war.
The U.S. is less reliant on the Strait of Hormuz for oil compared to many countries, but the global jet fuel shortage is having an impact here.
JetBlue announced it's raising its baggage fees to cover the extra cost, and United announced last week it's cutting back on the number of flights.
Fares have gone up 15 to 20% across the industry. Of course they do that. There's sort of no choice when prices go up, when fuel prices go up this much.
The price of gasoline continues to go up as well. The national average is now above $4 a gallon. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, the White House.
Well, here at home, we're taking a look at the price that you'll be paying as you fill up today. Thankfully, we are still under that $4 mark. In Rogers, according to Gas Buddy, gas costs about $3.03. In Fort Smith, that price averages at $3.14. And Clarksville is the highest of the three at $3.32. Well, March 3rd was a big election day in Arkansas, but not every race was decided. So today, some local and statewide races are heading to a runoff. Monday marked the final day of early voting for the Republican primary runoff election. 5 News reporter Claire Everbach shares what voters need to know as they head to the polls.
Central United Methodist Church in Fayetteville is one of many polling locations open today. Voters who are eligible in this runoff must have voted Republican, nonpartisan, or not voted at all in the March 3rd election. Here's a quick breakdown of what you'll see on today's ballot. For some races, voters will decide party nominations for the general election in November. Key races to watch include the Republican runoff for Washington County Judge, sheriff runoffs in Madison and Johnson counties, and the race for the Republican nomination for Secretary of State. I spoke with incumbent Washington County Judge Patrick Deakins and challenger Tim Shepard during early voting. Both candidates shared what they believe sets them apart in this race.
We came in with a dream and a vision. Now we've seen the realities of what Washington County is facing. One of the things I can say is I'm comfortable in that dynamic, that diverse dynamic.
I'm a captain at the Fayetteville Police Department. I've also been a volunteer fireman, so I've worked with obviously law enforcement, fire department, EMS, prosecutors, public defender's office, the courts.
Most polls will stay open until 7:30, but it does vary based on location. You can find a full list of voting centers on our website, 5newsonline.com. In Fayetteville, covering news where you live, Claire Everbach, 5 News.
Thanks for that, Claire. Well, to see where you can cast your ballot, just text the word VOTE to the number right there on your screen, 479-785-5000, and we'll bring you the latest results tonight right here on 5 News. Well, happening today, the Fort Smith Board of Directors will hold a special meeting to discuss 2 federal funding requests. One proposal would authorize the city administrator to ask Senator John Boozman's office for up to $12 million. The money would support work on a water transmission line. The city is also considering a $20 million request to relocate utility lines along Rogers Avenue. The Arkansas Department of Transportation plans to make changes in the area in the coming years, including street widening. Well, also today, the Fayetteville City Council will again discuss a proposed increase to the city cap on paying out sewer damage claims. Earlier this year, a homeowner reported a claim above the $100,000 maximum. City Attorney Kit Williams says a company drilling for a gas line hit a sewer line that was not marked. At today's agenda session, the council will also discuss a rule change that would allow the farmers market to expand outside of the downtown square. If approved, the market season would also be extended and alcohol could be sold there.